Well, what else do we have from Atlus this year?
I've talked about a lot of the stuff that we have announced, and I will say that there are surprises as well.
King of Fighters 14, King of Fighters 14, Darkspire 2, Dodonpachi 4.
No King of Fighters 14.
5.
But I will say, on the subject of King of Fighters 13, we are excited that the title will be an official EVO Finals game in Vegas in July. And it'll be showing up at a lot of the Road to Finals tournaments that are going on around the country. For anyone who's still on the fence, we released a patch working with the developer SNK Playmore to address concerns with the online performance. It's never been more affordable. I don't know if it'll be as of the time of this airing, but at this very moment, I think it's going right now for something like $29.99 on Amazon with the 4-CD soundtrack again, which we kind of had a little bit.
That was great.
Left of. So it's a killer deal for a game that GameSpot.com called their best fighting game of 2011. I don't know.
I think that was one of mine. I think that was my best fighting game. And you was one of our top 10 of the year, King of Fighters 13.
You have always given us love. That Darkspire Game of the Year award, that really, really surprised us. It touched us.
Oh, I love Darkspire. It's just, to me, that at the time, that was just right where I wanted it to be. I mean, it was just a great retro throwback, but funny. Old school.
Did you play it in wireframe, or did you play it in the more?
I played it in more of the traditional, but I checked out the wireframe, which was neat for a while. But I liked it. I took the soundtrack CD for that and burned it into my PS3, and I actually used that for some driving games in the background. It's because I've played so much Darkspire that I know the songs, and I think they're really very good. And of course, you guys, I think, the fans of this show and Atlus fans know that you're really one of the last few publishing companies that just puts everything into a release. I never feel like I'm getting just a crappy three-page black and white instruction manual that just says go read the instructions online. You guys put out nice full-color books. You get frequently you give you include soundtrack CDs. There's beautiful box art. And the Atlus games, at least the physical copy Atlus games, make great showpieces on the shelf, and that's just you do a really nice job with presentation, and I think that fans love you for that.
I would love to take all the credit for that, but I can probably take none of the credit for that. We have a team of designers. I'll tell an anecdote. I'll tell a story that I think summed it up, and it'll probably get me some vitriol from the internet. We had a game. It was not one of our. It was a title that was a smaller title for us. It was more niche. And we were looking to just, from a business standpoint, make it as profitable for ourselves as possible. Because in the end of the day, we have to stick around so we can continue to put out the games that our fans want. And a lot of the times that we do titles that our fans don't understand, a lot of it is that. But I think I threw out the suggestion, and I'm gonna say it. That why don't we go with a black and white manual? And I cannot tell you the looks I got from our designers. There is such a reverence with which our design team and our staff, our production staff, thinks about what goes in the package, manuals. I smell manuals. I really do. And I can't believe I made that suggestion. It was a moment of non-lucidity. So I think the bottom line is that when you look at our staff here, they believe as passionately in the.
It's dusty. That's
very nice.
I smell 30 years of dust. I'm sorry. Go on.
Was that it? Wait, was that a 2600? It was hard for me to make it out.
Oh, well, yes, naturally. Why wouldn't we have a 2600 here?
Very nice. Very nice. I think the style, that's just so cool, isn't it?
Well, it'd be really cool if Devil Survivor 3 were to come out in the 2600.
So maybe that's
you can pass that one around.
That'll be. I think we're queued up in their production schedule right behind Google Maps for the Atari 2600. Yeah. But anyways, we can't really. We're a small publisher. How do we fight piracy? We put all sorts of invasive DRM on our game that requires our users to physically tether themselves to our office building. No, it's not really the solution for us.
Nothing makes video gamers happier than when they open the package to play a game and realize they have to put some sort of goddamned code into the game just to play it the first time. That thrills everybody. I'm glad you don't do that.
I like to own things, and it's not a Gollum-style hoarder's compulsion. I like the thought of being able to give someone. I have a boxed copy of, the Last Express, the classic Mechner, Broderbund, Orient Express adventure game. I think I already had a copy of the game. I just wanted to physically have a copy. There's something about that, and we understand that. So we can't fight piracy. We can't fight pre-owned. People want to buy used games. Cool. But what we can do is we can make a killer offer at launch, where for Game of Thrones we have a hardbound 8.5 by 11, 64-page full color art book that's free as long as you buy the game at a participating retailer, and that's our value added. We pour that extra bit in. We lose a little bit of money on it, but the reality is that if we are as excited, or our fans are as excited as we are, then that extra incentive, we hope, is enough to get them to just support us at launch. And we really believe in that. We've seen nothing but support for that model, where we reward our fans for their investment. I mean, their money, and it's so hard earned these days. And I mean, Max Payne 3 and Diablo 3 and goodness, we're coming out on a crazy day, but we believe in rewarding our fans for their support.
You are, but for fans of Atlus, there's only one Atlus, and your products are the high quality, glossy, colorful products that I think at least I expect from you, and I certainly think that my viewers expect that of you. And when you do it right with like the nice Divinity 2 package and the King of Fighters 13 with the soundtrack CDs. I'm trying to think of Strange Journey. That was a 2010 release, right? That had a terrific soundtrack CD.
Right, it had a soundtrack CD in it that was improperly manufactured, so that you could extract the MP3s crudely, or WAV files crudely. But it was we actually did a replacement program where people could log on, and anyone hearing this now, it's over. I'm sorry that we did have it running for a few months, but people could log on and actually have a new CD sent out to them. But yeah, that had a good soundtrack.
And the other one I'm thinking about is Radiant Historia. That was a nice launch.
Radiant Historia. We had a lot of people in the office who, when it was important for us to bring more copies into the marketplace, because one of us went on eBay and we saw it was like $70, $80, and it's never us intentionally shorting the market. That game was actually marked down so I remember it was $20 on Amazon before it ultimately became hard to find. And we were happy to reprint that. Some people here were disappointed they couldn't make a significant profit on their personal eBay account with their one copy. I'm not going to out them because it's probably bad. But I still have my sealed boxed copy, and Radiant Historia is one of my favorite games that I've been involved with since I've been here.
I'll close on this. It's funny that games with Radiant in the title seem to command high values on eBay after a while. Radiant Historia versus Radiant Silvergun. Of course, I think they both got a re-release, didn't they?
And as of this moment, Atlus is now announcing that the Shin Megami Tensei series has been renamed to the Radiant Megami Tensei series. And all of our games are now prefixed with Radiant.
Well, make sure everybody watching supports Atlus. Go get your Persona 3 PSP. That was a great game. I really loved that one. And all of the other ones that we're talking about. And hopefully I can still coerce you using the Force for a sequel to the Dark Spire.
Okay, I will pass that along to the fine folks in Japan.
These are the awesome games we're looking for.
I have to confess, Mark, I don't know if there were any other outlets that gave that title a Game of the Year award. It was beloved, but it might be a tough sell.
Yeah, a lot of people question my choices, but I like to pick choices that might get overlooked. And frankly, I think that's a game that was overlooked as being for being as good as it really is. It was just, for those of us that grew up in the old school PC RPG era, and just remember like wandering around in these like old monochromatic hallways and being eaten by grooves and stuff. That was a great, funny release that had just infinite playability, and of course Persona 3 is a terrific release. And so many of my favorite games each year are yours, and I just really appreciate the work that you and the rest of your team puts into the packaging and the presentation and the translation and ultimately releasing it and getting it to the market in the first place. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. On behalf of everyone here, thanks to everyone watching. And we've been around for over 20 years. We couldn't have existed this long, considering how niche our product is, if we didn't have passionate, continued support. And there's no end to our appreciation for that. So if ever you're disappointed or we announce something and it's not what you like, just bear with us. Know that we haven't forgotten what our roots are, and we will never really stray from that. There's always that next JRPG on the horizon, and hopefully whatever it is, our fans will dig it.
All right, well, you heard it officially. Will be Radiant Historia versus Radiant Silvergun, a JRPG-style fighting game with a 300-page full-color manual, coming to PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and Atari 2600 next week. From Atlus, Aram Jabari.
Yeah.
Heart attack. Well, thank you again to Aram Jabari and everybody at Atlus for doing such a great job, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Me too. Take care, guys. Thank you.